Hello again, everybody. I'm Barry Welsh. I'm your host. This is the American Doofus Show. Don't be a doofus. You can email me at americandoofus@gmail.com. Please subscribe and share the link to this post on your social media. This episode, we're going to be talking about Louisville, Kentucky. We're going to be talking about Grandmaster Jay. We're going to be talking about the NFAC. Louisville, Kentucky's a tinderbox at the moment. Imagine hot coals waiting for gas to be poured up on it, and poof, that's Louisville, Kentucky. The reason? The Breonna Taylor case. This is the first time you're watching, welcome. And I'm going to tell you just a little bit about the Breonna Taylor case. You'll be able to go back to previous episodes and find out. Breonna was an emergency room technician at two different hospitals in Louisville, Kentucky. She was sleeping with her boyfriend in her apartment. The door was busted down with a no-knock warrant by three plainclothes Louisville Metropolitan Police Department officers. Her boyfriend, hearing the door being busted open, pulled his gun, which he legally owned, and fired a warning shot. Once he fired that shot, it did strike one of the officers in the leg, and 22 rounds were immediately dispensed into the apartment, 8 of which struck Breonna Taylor and killed her. People are protesting, wanting justice. They say, no justice, no peace. What does justice mean to them? It means the arrest, the prosecution, and the incarceration of the 3 officers responsible for the shooting. Will that happen? That remains to be seen. If it doesn't happen, then that could be the gas poured upon Louisville to ignite it. Now, Grandmaster Jay. Again, if this is the first time you're watching and you don't know who Grandmaster Jay is, he's the supreme commander of a group called the NFAC, the Not Effing Around Coalition. And it is a black militia. They were in Stone Mountain, Georgia on July 4th. Mainstream media portrayed it as a protest to the monument on the Stone Mountain. They weren't there protesting. They were there because through the internet, a rumor circulated that the Ku Klux Klan were going to start killing black people at 8 p.m. on July 4th. That's why the NFAC was actually in Stone Mountain, Georgia, because if the Ku Klux Klan held true to their claim, they were going to start killing white people at 8:05. I believe them. How many were there? Enough. 2 weeks later, they were in Louisville, Kentucky, demanding answers on the Breonna Taylor case. On that case, enough showed up in Louisville. They said 4 weeks from now, if we don't have answers, NFAC's coming back. Grandmaster Jay. Who is he? Again, if this is the first time you're watching, I've done a few episodes on Grandmaster Jay. Grandmaster Jay was involved in the music business. He was in the military. He's been in politics. And now he's an activist leader of the NFAC, the Black Militia. Should the militia and Grandmaster Jay be taken seriously? Well, I fully believe so. Let me give you a couple examples why. In the black community, there are those that are trying to tear down or devalue what Grandmaster Jay is doing through the NFAC. I've always been told if somebody's trying to stop you, then you must be doing something right. I don't know if it's out of jealousy. I don't know if it's because someone else didn't think of it first, but there are those in the black community that are trying to say that what is happening shouldn't be happening, and they're trying to discredit Grandmaster Jay, and they're trying to devalue the NFAC. In the white community, most white people don't know who Grandmaster Jay is or what the NFAC is, because the mainstream media, the coverage wasn't given in proportion to the actions that were taken. The actions were really historic. A large militia group showing up at Stone Mountain, Georgia, the heart of the Ku Klux Klan, and an even larger militia group showing up on the streets of Louisville, Kentucky, demanding justice for a black woman that was killed at the hands of police. Grandmaster Jay has tried politics. He ran for president in 2016. Again, I only became aware of that on the 4th of July. And I imagine most of you weren't aware of that either. Again, because mainstream media covers who they want to cover. Now, I have a background in politics. I ran for Congress against Vice President Mike Pence. Just Google Mike Pence, Barry Welsh, 2006, and you'll see that he spent $1.5 million. I spent $50,000, less than $50,000 actually, and I got 40% of the vote. I was going to be a rising star in politics until I wouldn't play the game. The importance of Grandmaster Jay being involved in politics is that the two of us both have seen that the political system is rigged, and it's rigged by the political elite. There is an elite group, and they're only elite in the amount of money they have. They're not elite in their morals. They're not elite in their humanity. They're just elite because of the amount of money they have, and they control both political parties. As long as it's like that, there's not going to be much change. And what change there is not going to be for the good. There's power in numbers, and what scares the elite is power. If all of us united, that would be an incredible amount of power. Power is the only thing they respect. Grandmaster Jay tried protesting, he tried politics, and now he's doing one thing that the elite will have to pay attention to eventually, and that's assembling power. That puts fear in a lot of white people. I don't think it should. I'm taking the man at his word. When somebody tells you who they are and shows you who they are, then believe who they are. He doesn't want to battle the white community. He doesn't want to battle the American government. He wants to have a separate, unique government for the communities of people of color. Think about Israel. Israel was, the nation of Israel was carved out for a homeland for the Jewish people after World War II. He's trying to achieve a similar situation. At least that's my perception. He's trying to create a similar situation for peoples of color all around the world to have a nation of their own. He's tried to do it politically. He's tried to do it by protest. Now he's going to do it with power. But his goal is not to instigate war with the white people. His goal is not to instigate war against the United States. However, if white people attack him first, if the government attacks him first, that's different. That's different. And I hope that's not the situation. I hope people will take him seriously and understand his goal. His goal is about a homeland. His goal is not about destroying the white people. Because when you get right down to it, we've got a lot more in common. most of us, if you're a member of the elite, well, chances are, if you're a member of the elite, you're not seeing this. If you're a member of the elite, or if you pretend and have in your own head that you're part of the elite, you're not. You're not. It's about wealth, and it's a very exclusive club. It said, the enemy of my enemy is my friend. Well, Grandmaster Jay and I aren't friends, but we have very similar views in that the system is rigged, that the power of the people is the most scary thing to the elite. That's why they constantly work to divide us by race, to divide us by class, to divide us by socioeconomic backgrounds, to divide us by regions, to divide us by age, to divide us by sex. If all of the people could come together, that's when change happens. And that's what Grandmaster Jay is trying to do. He's going to go private in a few days. That means he's going to disappear from the social media platforms. And I hope I still somehow can find out what they're doing, because I believe it's important that people know. Not their numbers, not their specific plans, but just that maybe with that tinderbox in Louisville, Grandmaster Jay comes back with the NFAC and he becomes a fireman instead of a flamethrower. That's a very distinct possibility, because this guy has some political skills. He's got some public relations savvy. He's a very intelligent, well-spoken man. So maybe he comes back to Louisville and becomes a firefighter and puts the fire out, instead of becoming the flamethrower and burning the city down, as most are, as many are anticipating. He's also promised a 1 million gun formation and a worldwide formation. I have no reason to doubt that he will do both of those things. It's just a matter of when and where. But while it will put a tremendous fear into the white community, most of you have always said if they don't like it here, they can get out. I think that's what he really wants. I've talked to a lot of people of color lately, trying to learn, trying to understand. And one of the things that many of them tell me is, we just want to be left alone. And that's really not too much to ask. Most of us in the white community want the same thing. As I said, peel away the elite, and the rest of us have a whole lot more in common than we do to divide us. Why do I talk so much about Grandmaster Jay? Why am I going to continue to? Because I believe he's going to end up being one of the most influential people in 2020. I personally believe he's going to do everything he said he's going to do. Will he be able to get a homeland? I don't know about that. That's time will tell, but I believe that's what his goal really is. And I'm going to keep talking about it. Until next time, I'm Barry Walsh. This is the American Doofus Show. Don't be a doofus. Email me at americandoofus@gmail.com. Please subscribe and like the program. And please share it on your social media posts. And please take care of yourselves and each other. Until next time.